Hey, my nurses, have you ever felt criticized publicly at work, whether it's in front of your patients and their family or in front of a colleague or another team member? Based on the stats around workplace conflict and bullying, I'm going to guess that you have either witnessed or experienced this at some point in your career and likely quite recently. So, how do we address it? My name is Tammy, your leadership and communication skills coach, and I help healthcare providers have these difficult conversations as a way to resolve conflict early and prevent bullying from showing up in the workplace. And today we're looking at what happens when somebody is undermining you, criticizing you in front of others. I've seen a range of emotions and reactions to this kind of a situation, everywhere from pretending they didn't even hear it and ignoring it, to snapping back with something that is equally unprofessional in front of the patient and or colleagues. And we're feeling really quite shocked that this has even happened and we're in this situation. And I know that what you really want is that if there is a concern that people bring it to you, certainly we want to know what we're doing wrong so we can fix it and be the best provider we can, but in a place that's respectful and at the right time. Now we know that if you pretend that you didn't hear it, others did. So if your colleague, buddy nurse, supervisor has said something unprofessional about you in front of your patient is also going to remember that, and they're looking to see how you address it as well. And so if we also then snap back, your patient is thinking, whoa, what the heck's going on? Am I even protected today? So we want to make sure that we're using appropriate strategies to address this. So we're going to go to our 50 powerful, let me just get this here for you, the 50 powerful scripts to end offensive behaviors. And I am going to the category undermining activities. This is the one that we're going to use today in order to help address a situation where somebody has just offended you and said something rude about you, a snide comment, in front of your patient, your colleagues, other coworkers. Let's start out with the scenario. You're at your bedside doing patient care and your colleague is like, what is taking you so long? You should have been out of here in 10 minutes. Like, the standard is 8 minutes assessment, get out the door, and you've been in here for 15. It's not really a great thing to hear while you're with your patient. So these comments are meant to undermine the confidence of others in your abilities, and your patient's going to be like, oh, am I taking too much time? Is this nurse not smart enough? What's wrong? So we want to make sure we address this. Now, on your scripts, I'm going to choose number 2. This conversation would be better in a private setting so we can resolve this issue without it negatively impacting the team. So let's hear it from the beginning then. You're working at the bedside, colleague comes in and says, hey, what's taking you so long? You should be like 8 minutes per patient, out of here in 10, and you've been in here for 15. Like, you need to hurry it up. Hurry it up. Hey, nurse, I think this conversation will be better in private so we can resolve the issue and not impact the team. Can we set this up? I just added a little, can we set this up? Or what would be best for you? When is a good time to talk about this? Is probably my favorite one as I say it out loud. So, hey nurse, this conversation I think would be better in private so we can resolve the issue without it impacting the team. What is a good time for you today? Set the boundary that isn't important. You're agreeing that this is probably an important conversation, and you can even set that up at the beginning and say, I agree this is an important topic we need to talk about. I think this should be done in private so we don't impact the team. When can we do this? There's another revision. So when you get more skilled at this, I always recommend starting with the script. And when you get more comfortable and more skilled with this, you can start to adjust it to fit the situation. And so agreeing, this does sound like something we should talk about. Whether you agree with her opinion of how long it's taking you to do the care doesn't matter. The topic is important because it's creating stress. So I think this is a topic we should talk about. I agree. I think it would be best done in private so that we can resolve the issues without it impacting the team. And then, when is a good time for you? We're setting the container. So this script is so great because it's communicating your communication preferences, right? So when you have a complaint, you have a criticism, you have an observation, it's not to be done in front of the client. And we're not having to call them out and say, hey, that was unprofessional. You don't talk like that in front of the client because that erodes our trust in the patients. We don't have to say all of that. Even though it's true, and it probably is a feeling you're having, this script will communicate that in a very simple structure. Let's take this offline. I think this is important, and we should resolve it. Now, it's quite possible your patient is going to say, is everything okay? And when you come back, they're going to probably check in and say, is everything okay? I think it's quite fine, because if they heard that, they are a part of that situation now. They got some of that stink on them and they're worried that maybe they are the cause. To reassure them that, yeah, sometimes we get stressed out and we say things that we don't mean to say, and we're going to fix it, or we have fixed it, and we're moving forward. And just reassure them that it's nothing to do with them, but it's a part of being a human. We all have conflict, and that you were able to navigate that successfully. All right, guys, so don't forget, download your 50 powerful scripts to end offensive behaviors and put these into practice. Don't let this become another dust collector on your desk. They're not just powerful because I say so. They are powerful because you use them. All right, so download these, share them with your friends, share this video with your friends, connect them, tag them, whatever that is, because I can promise you there are people who need to hear this message today. Now, if you are a target of workplace bullying, or you feel like you're struggling to really get any momentum in these relationships, or you're in leadership and you're really trying to figure out, how do I create this culture, Tammy? Then let's work together. Book yourself a discovery session with me. We can talk about whether one-to-one coaching is going to be the best support for you right now, or a group program, or potentially we just need to do some organizational training and get everybody on board with a common language and purpose vision. Either way, this is a 30-minute investment in you, in helping you achieve your vision. Now, we can't solve the world's problems in 30 minutes, but we will have a clear idea as to what the pain points are and how to get you where you need to go.